everyone. This is Dr. Looney, and today we're going to be talking about finding the domain of fractional functions involving radicals. So there's two things when you're dealing with a fractional function that is, especially dealing with radicals, you have two conditions. The radicals, you cannot take the square root of negative numbers, and in the domain, you can't divide by 0. So we need to make sure our denominator is not equal to 0, and then we need to make sure that when we take the square root, any x value will not be a negative number. So let's look at this first result. We have 3x. So we got 3x plus 9. I'm going to change this to black just to make sure you can see it. 3x plus 9 is in the denominator. So remember, whatever value or whatever expression is in the denominator, it can't equal 0. So I need to set this equal to 0 to find out when that x value is equal to 0. And whatever that x value is, I'm going to exclude it from the domain. So let's subtract 9 from both sides. That's going to give us 3x is equal to negative 9. And then after that, we need to do what? We need to divide both sides by 3. So I'm going to write over here, we got, I don't need that negative sign. So we got 3x is equal to a negative 9, divide both sides by 3. That gives us x is equal to a negative 3. So I know that any number I can put in for x into the denominator is going to be okay except negative 3. So I need to get rid of negative 3. So x cannot equal negative 3. I need to exclude that from the domain. So remember, if it's in the denominator, we don't want our denominator to equal to 0. So that's why we said 3x plus 9 equal to 0 to get rid of those x values. All right, so let's try. Now let's deal with the square root sign. So with the square root sign, we can't take the square root of negative numbers. So that means that all of our x values can either be 0 or positive. So whatever you have up under the radical sign, this is our radical sign, the square root sign, we need x plus 5 to be greater than or equal to 0. And then now we just need to solve for x. And that's pretty simple. We can subtract 5 from both sides. So we know that x has to be greater than or equal to negative 5. So now let's put all of this together to get our domain for this particular function. So I recommend that you draw a number line. You don't have to draw a number line. That's just the easiest way for me to see. And I think it'll be easy for you too. So I'm going to plot negative 3, and then I'm going to plot negative 5. Now keep in mind, we are going to be okay. This is saying I'm going to be okay for any number to the right of negative 5. But this is saying I cannot include negative 3. So that means that all of these numbers are going to be okay, but remember, I can't include negative 3, so I got to skip over negative 3. Then I'm going to have all of these numbers, which is going to be okay. Now, this says greater than or equal to negative 5, so negative 5 is included. So I know negative 5 is going to be included, so I need a bracket for negative 5. Remember, 3 is not included, so I need a negative 3 is not included, so I need a parentheses. But this is one set of numbers, and then this is another set of numbers. I should have did it in a different color, but let's just do the second. So let's do this set in green. So this is one set of numbers, and then the red is another set of numbers. Well, anytime that you want to combine two sets, you need a union sign. So I'm going to have union. Whatever number you stop with, that's the number that you start with. So that's going to be negative 3. And these numbers are going all the way to a positive infinity. So I'm going to stop there. And that is going to be the answer. All right, so let's go ahead and put it in Alex to make sure that we chose the correct word. Now keep in mind, you will make mistakes. I make mistakes on these problems. So don't get too bent out of shape when you make a mistake. Just keep working. All right, so here we only need one union, so let me get rid of one of these. All right, and so remember, -5 was included, so we can have a bracket, but -3 was not included, so we need a parentheses. So we got -5, and we got a -3. And then whatever we stop with, we need to start with, but I need to get rid of, you see I have a bracket here, but I need a parentheses. So we need to start with a parentheses. I'm gonna have -3, and we went all the way to infinity. Not negative infinity, we need a positive infinity. All right, so this is going to be the domain of this particular function. Sometimes, let's just go ahead and check it. Sometimes Alex is a little funky, and it says that the answer is incorrect, but sometimes it could be correct. But anyway, we got everything correct. These are the things that you need to make sure that you understand with these type of problems. If you're taking the square root, you cannot take the square root of negative numbers. So all those numbers have to be positive or 0. And when you're dividing, you cannot divide by 0. So your denominator cannot equal 0. So let's just do one more of these type of problems, and then we'll end the video there. If Alex will move. Alex is going kind of slow today. All right, so let's start with the numerator. The numerator has the square root of 6 plus x. But what do we know? When we take the square root, we cannot take the square root of negative numbers. So whatever is under the radical sign, I know it has to be greater than or equal to 0. So I know that 6 plus x, and I keep forgetting to write in black, has to be greater than or equal to 0. Now, I can solve for my x value by subtracting 6 from both sides. So x has to be greater than or equal to -6. So this is basically telling me what? Any number that's bigger than -6 or -6 is okay. That's what that says. All the numbers to the right of -6, including -6, is okay for my domain. But I can't stop there. I need to verify that there's not any other numbers I need to get rid of. And so that's when I set my denominator equal to 0, because remember, you can't divide by 0. So that means -10x minus 2x, and set that equal to 0 and find out what can't equal 0. All right, so this is a negative. To undo a negative, the inverse operation is going to be plus 10. So that's going to be -10x. I'm sorry, -2x is equal to 10. And then the last thing I'm going to do is divide by 2. I don't know why I put 5, because that's the answer. So I'm going to divide both sides by -2. So my x is equal to a -5. All right, so I'm good. I found out that I had one more number that was not included, and that was -5, because -5 is going to be right here. So I got to get rid of my -5. So we get two sets. We get all the numbers between -5 and 6, including 6, they're okay. And then any number to the right of -5 is going to be okay as well. So remember, we're including 6, so we need our bracket. We're not including -5, so we need parentheses. And then lastly, or wherever we start out with, that's the number we got to start with in the second set. -5 is not included, so we need parentheses. And then we're going to go all the way to infinity, and we're done. So this is how you find the domain of fractional functions. The two components that you need to know is I can't take the square root of negative numbers, and I can't divide by 0. All right, guys, I hope these videos was helpful for you. If you have any questions, again, you can always